people didn't just snap in the past, but with Blue Cube working so closely with the psychiatric industry, we've made that a reality. We not only treat the symptoms, we can create them. Back in the day when I stumbled on this nefarious audio and I began investigating it, hands-on research, and when you get into this and start bringing it to the public, you hear it all. And I mean, you hear it all. These people just popped up immediately, blaming it on all sorts of things. The very first one was, that's crosstalk. Not even knowing what I recorded it with. So what they were saying is that I was using a cell phone to record it, and I was getting a phone call through the recorder, even though the phone wasn't being used. So I immediately did it again using a Sony Handycam. And once I did that, that went away. Next was a barrage of people that began to say, oh, it sounds like you're next to a repeater or a ham operator. So what I did was I began to record it 10 miles away, 15 miles away, in other people's houses, in other places. Even finding it in other people's recordings from around the United States and around the globe. And all of it behaved in the exact same manner. And then those people went away. So at that point, I pretty much had people in a checkmate. Then after that, the posters began to show up saying it was aliens. Then the ghost people showed up. Oh, that sounds like EVP. No, EVP sounds like pulsed vocal communication. I used to believe in a lot of this paranormal stuff, but it's so subverted you can't trust it. So I had to put my ego away and my hopes and dreams of the paranormal and realize what it really was. So when these ghost people show up and go, you're not giving that a chance. No, I've just studied it more than you have. And then the demon people show up and say it's demons and all this and all that. So you hear it all. I decided that I was going to make a best of video of all the surface audio that I have accumulated over the last, 4 or 5 years, a short compilation. But before we get into that, I want to explain something to you. Once I realized that this signal was auto-gaining on every noise being made, not just humans, but everywhere. The hum of tires on the freeway. Any sound, it will auto-gain onto that sound. Once you realize that, anybody would come to the same conclusion that this is a surveillance system. It's just a weaponized surveillance system. It is picking up and auto-gaining to whatever audio is being made, whatever sound. So what that is doing is it is determining the decibels of that sound and reacting accordingly, just underneath it, in an auto-gain fashion. And when you dig into these frequencies enough, you realize how close they are to sine wave speech and Bell Labs voter, which was made in 1938, 1939. Let's learn a little bit about the voter and the sounds it makes.
This is my replica of the voter, the world's first electronic speech synthesizer. Bell Labs was working on the vocoder, or voice coder, a system that broke down speech, transmitted it over a long distance, and reassembled it at the other end. The vocoder saw use in the Sig-Sally system, which was used in World War II to transmit speech between world leaders in a secure manner. The voter is half of a vocoder. It's the receiving end. The transmitter is replaced by these hand controls that are operated by the player. As you can see, the speech begins at the operator's fingers, where they use the wrist bar to select between the voiced and unvoiced, or hiss and buzz, noise sources. This sound is then transmitted through a bank of filters, each of which is controlled by one of the 10 keys on the keyboard. Here are the stop constant keys. These aid the operator in producing certain difficult consonants like t, k, p, b, etc. These consonants are difficult to produce on the voter, and therefore a special set of keys was added.
Now, this is an important part. It shows the hiss and the buzz that is used to make sound, vocalizations. And this is what I have found in every audio sample. So it is a modernized version of a voter. Let's check it out.
Welcome to the voter. The voter has two sound sources, the hiss and the buzz. I can use these things together to form a sentence.
Now, what I found when I dug into the audio were what sounded like violin stabs, staccato violin stabs. So what this is a very modernized version of the voter. Someone doesn't have to sit there with keys doing it. It is automated. Now I'm going to show you an example of sine wave speech. Instead of having you listen to it and guess, I'm going to tell you what it says right away before you even hear it. It says, in psychic research, the emotional distance between the researcher and his subject is inevitably diminished until it is no more than the distance between any two persons. If there can be no love between researcher and subject, there can be no experimentation. Let's check it out.
In psychic research, the emotional distance between the researcher and his subject is inevitably diminished until it is no more than the distance between any two persons. If there can be no love between researcher and subject, there can be no experimentation.
Now, let's play if there can be no love between researcher and subject, there can be no experimentation. Let's play that part again.
If there can be no love between researcher and subject, there can be no experimentation.
So let's get to the best of now. Now, the only samples that I'm going to use in this are what I call surface audio, meaning I did not have to do anything to the audio except for turn it up. However, this signal is running all the time and chattering, and I'm going to show you that. But in every one of these cases, it is just surface audio. I'd also like to state that I am not special. These houses aren't special. This is everywhere. Number one, this is when I'm cleaning up my dad's house, and this is from a few months ago, and you're going to hear a sound. Now, when I'm working in there, it is totally and completely silent. This is a house, not an apartment. Our neighbors are far away, and you are going to hear a voice come in and talk. Now, this is pulse communication. It's not a ghost. It's not anything. It's nothing paranormal. It is a pulsed voice that is auto-gaining on other noise in the room. You can just hear me banging around and moving stuff. Here we go. And it sounds ghostly and monotone and weird. And they used to say that the ghosts don't have vocal cords to push the voice, so it sounds like that. No, that's a psyop. This is monotone because it uses the same aspects as the voter. Let's play it again. So monotone spook, that was number one. Let's go to number two. Now here I am working. Again, house was totally silent. You're going to hear a voice come in here. Let's check it out. Then it's going to come in again here. It keeps going, it's just lower here. Alright, that was number two. Moving on to number three. Here's one of my very sarcastic seances that I had. I was asking it a question and I said yes or no. So this part's me. Here, a whisper comes in. Let's check it out. And it sounds like it says, let's try as a demon or something. And that's me. Now, let's listen to a pitched down version of that. Here we go. So it's funny when you listen to these and then you think about the people that have tried to come to this channel and tell people that it's pareidolia and shit like that. It's clown world. These are voices. Absolute 100% voices. And you can go through every one of these and see actual formants, vocal formants. But there are vocal formants missing in all of them to form a complete and total voice. So it's like 2/3 of a voice. So number 4, to prove my point, in here a voice comes in and it says last name something. Let's check it out. I doubled it up there. So I'm going to loop that for a minute. It says last name something. I'm not going to say what I think it says, but it says last name something. It's a whisper. That's not a ghost or a ghoul. That's a pulsed communication. It is man-made. 100% man-made. You could use this stuff to make somebody destitute, to drive them out of a house, to scare the shit out of them, to make them think they're going crazy, and a myriad of other things. But it is first and foremost a surveillance system. It auto-gains on noises that are being created, and I'm going to show you that right now in number 5. I have recorded toilets flushing over and over and caught this auto-gaining and riding up on the noise of the toilet flushing, and other recordings of other people flushing toilets. I have found the same exact thing. Then the voices are going to start jumping up right here, right when the water starts swirling and making noise. So there you go, the magic toilet flushes. And you can do this with any recording. I'm not special, and the places where this was recorded are not special. Number 6, a voice is going to come in here and say a couple things, and then it's going to say, we took something here. So here we go. That's a voice. Sounds like we took the house. See how it's a cross between a voice and a whisper? It ends in a whisper. It starts off with a strong consonant because it's a pulse. It loses power at the end. So there you go. That was number 6. This is the audio pushed up to show you that it never stops chattering. Ever. Multiple voices all the time. Male and pseudo-female. They're both the same voice at different pitches. So let's check it out. It never stops chattering. It is always there, leveling back out depending on the ambient noise in the room, the decibels of the ambient noise. Now, this is what I call the spooky demon. I came into my house from working in the garage to use the bathroom, and as I was walking back out, I flushed the toilet, and I was walking through the house with my boots on. You're going to hear my boots, and then you're going to hear a spooky Fat Albert style demon come in and start laughing. Check it out. Then it says something there. And you can actually hear the voices following and riding on my boot steps. Check it out. So let's listen to the Fat Albert demon laugh again. Then it says something here. Now it sounds all spooky, but let's listen to it pitched up so it's not spooky anymore. Doesn't sound so scary anymore, right? Not very scary anymore. These are not ghosts and ghoulies. These are pulsed signals. Now, number 9 is a good one. You hear these grunts and very strange sounds that are just pulsed signals. Let's check it out. Now, if you listen, just like that other voice, it starts off strong and turns into a whisper by the time it finishes. Because it's losing power. The initial pulse is always loudest. Listen to that. It sounds like someone breathing there. And then a very fast, creepy sound right there. That could drive somebody out of a house. Pretty spooky, right? They're just pulse signals. That's it. Now I slowed that quick pulse down so you can hear what it sounds like slower. Let's check it out. Now remember, this is surface audio, every one of them. This stuff drives people out of houses. And lastly, number 10, I want to show you the day that I caught this signal pulsing on the power grid while the power was out in the area. So here we go. And if you pay attention, you can see that the light isn't shutting on or off. It's just dimming. And it's getting brighter with the pulse, the actual pulse sound. There's a reason why they switched everybody over to LED bulbs. Incandescent bulbs cannot handle this pulsing, and that's why when you put in incandescent bulbs, they don't last nearly as long as they used to. You know, some bulbs used to last years. Now, you'll be lucky if they last a month. This is why they cannot handle the pulsing on the power grid. And that's been going on since about 2003, heavy. Let's check it out again. And if you notice, when the pulse gets loudest, that is when the light gets brightest. So this has been the Lookoutfa Charlie top 10 over the last few years or so. And remember, when this happens to somebody, whether they believe it's a haunting or whatever, It's imperative that people realize what is actually happening. It can save their life, and it can save them from becoming destitute. And that's it for now. Look out for Charlie. Blue Cube's algorithm carefully goes through the profiles of criminals, social derelicts, and dissidents in your area because we're Blue Cube, and someone's gonna be our motherfucking patsy.